will taxation change?
That's a good question. What do we want? You got to remember, at least here in the United States, we're not a democracy. If we were going to be a democracy, the founding fathers would never have created the Electoral College. You know, and it's a shame they don't teach this stuff in school anymore. The reason they created the Electoral College is because if we were a democracy, the 50.5% would be able to tell the 49.5% what to do. Okay, which means that if you have 4 or 5 states that are the most populated, they would decide every other presidential election, every presidential election. Okay, which means the other 45 states would have no say whatsoever. But with the Electoral College, it levels the playing field so that every state and every citizen, in fact, has a say in the running of our country. That's why we are a constitutional republic. The Democrats want to get rid of that because they're all about socialism. They don't even give a shit about democracy. They really don't. What they want is socialism, knowing what happens when it fails. It falls into totalitarian. It becomes a totalitarian rule. And then they have power forever until they're completely overthrown. That's how this works. That's what history shows us. Okay, what do we want? And you ask about taxation. If we're a constitutional republic, the people would have been able to tell the country what happened. In 1871, the Congress of the United States gave Washington, D.C., the District of Columbia, a different form of government, a corporate government. Okay? In 1913, they added the Federal Reserve. They took the power to coin money and gave it to a private banking consortium. In 1933, right after the crash in 1929, the Constitutional United States of America declared bankruptcy, and it was replaced by the United States of America, Inc. Read it. It's a fact. It's all there. And that's what we've been living under all this time. So when you see Trump talking at these rallies and he says, we're going to restore the republic, when the Q group says, we're going to restore the public, that's what they're talking about. Okay? That's what they're talking about. You see, most people don't have a base of knowledge to understand how to decode all this stuff because governmental schools just stopped teaching independence to everybody because they had no intention of allowing you to be free anymore. That's just a fact. And that's just in this country. You know, I'm sure it's this bad or maybe even worse in other countries. But I didn't grow up in other countries, so I don't know for a fact. But in this country, that's what happened. So, will there be taxation? God, I hope not. Personally, I think if we're going to allow our government to take care of business, we institute a national sales tax. That's it. That's what they get. That's what they have to live with. Okay? And we decide if they get to raise it by a national, during a national campaign or voting section, or I mean, there's elections every 2 years, presidential election every 4 years. We would then vote if we wanted the sales tax raised. I mean, to me, that's a very simple solution. It comes right up off the top. You don't need the IRS because the state governments already collect sales tax. You let them collect it for the Fed, they send it to the Treasury, government stays small. Just an idea. There's a lot of ways to do this and make it work. Okay? The government was never meant to become more important than its citizens, ever. That is never what it was meant to be.